Give them statistics, give them analytics, give them taxes, give them revenue reports. Literally all that stuff is what I did and what you're gonna see in this. So the number one cheat code, my number one tip to getting approved for the DTV Visa as a business owner, as a remote worker, as a digital nomad. What's going on, everybody? If you're new here, my name is Simon. I am a private drum educator, formerly based out of Ventura, California, and now living in the beautiful country of Thailand. If you clicked on this video, it was probably for one main reason, and that's because you want to know how I got approved for my DTV Visa in literally 2 hours. In this video, I'm gonna show you how I did it. I'm gonna give you some tips and tricks, and more importantly, give you the cheat codes and the main things that you need to be looking for if you're planning to get on this visa, especially in a time like this to where they're now cracking down on a lot of the other types of visas. So this is gonna be a dope video. If you already haven't, tap in, hit that subscribe button, and let's dive straight in. All right. How I got approved for my DTV Visa in 2 hours. First off, I just have to say thank you, guys. We made it 2,000 subscribers. 2,000 subscribers, and I know, it's not that big of a deal. I know 2,000 to some people, it might not be that big of a number, but honestly, if you can't celebrate the small wins, you're not gonna appreciate the big ones. You know what I'm saying? This is the road to 5K, road to 10K, and you could help me get there, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button. What you waiting for? I appreciate every single person that watches these videos. If you've been there with me from the very beginning, I started this YouTube channel back in 2009. Just doing drum covers and just throwing them up on my channel just for something fun for me and my friends to do back in high school. And fast forward all the way to now, I take you guys on all my crazy journeys and all my little endeavors. So I really appreciate it. And if you are new here, man, you better tap in because the journey is just beginning. All right, so back to the visa. I've actually officially been here in Thailand for a little over 2 months now. I got here back on October 8th, and I actually applied and got approved for the DTV visa back in July. So that's my first point with this whole video. That just kind of goes to show that, you know, they say it in the military all the time, the 5 Ps, proper preparation prevents poor performance. When I came out here and I was making this move, I didn't just do it just on a whim. I did so much research and preparation, and that's what set me up to not only get my visa approved in literally 2 hours, but just to have my whole entire stay and my whole entire journey so far being here just like effortless and just completely smooth and no issues so far. So if you are planning to move to Thailand and you are trying to get on the DTV visa, that's my number one tip. That's the number one cheat code, is to get it early. You have to get that thing before you come out here, and that's actually one of the requirements. You have to apply for this outside of Thailand. I don't think you necessarily have to be in your home country. I think that helps, but you cannot be in Thailand when you apply for this visa. So if you're sitting on your couch right now, laying in your bed right now, watching this video, you want to get on the DTV visa, you know it's good for 5 years, and you're planning this move to come to such an amazing country, you got to do it early. Get on that thing early. Because one thing that I'm noticing, and one thing that I'm seeing a lot in these YouTube headlines, is a lot of people that were on other types of visas, more like the non-exemption stuff and the tourist visas that were only good for I think like 60 to 90 days. They're in a lot of hot water right now because Thailand is cracking down. They're not allowing these expats to play that certain game that used to work for them, and now they're really cracking down and really trying to implement a lot more requirements. So it's in your favor to really try to play the long game, which is what I did, and try to get the longest possible visa you can if you apply for it. For me and for this video, I applied and I went more on the business owner route, more of kind of the freelancer, digital nomad. There are other ways to get on this visa. You can go through soft power, like studying Muay Thai, or I think even like Thai cooking or language classes, but that's not gonna be in this video. I can't speak and I can't talk on something that I haven't done, so I'm gonna only show you guys and give you guys the cheat codes from my exact playbook, and I can show you guys exactly what I did. And now, before we get to all the items that you're gonna wanna include in this visa if you are applying as like a business owner or digital nomad, I just have to show the Carfax real quick. So we're gonna dive into my email and I'm gonna show you guys and tell you guys the short little story on kind of like what happened. This was actually kind of crazy this day when I got approved for this visa. So if we jump in right here to my email, you're gonna see all the way back here. This was back in July, guys. July 17th is when I applied, and July 17th is when I got approved. So boom, both of these emails right here. This was my receipt after filling out the application, and that is another thing, you do have to pay for this visa. It's actually one of the most affordable visas to get. It was $400 US, which I think is pretty good for a 5-year multiple entry visa. This was my receipt, and then bam, literally right after that, the very next email was my visa status. And it was crazy because on this first one, this was applied back when I was in California, so we're 15 hours ahead. So this was like 10 a.m. This is like 10 a.m. when I applied, 10:16 a.m. And I had applied, went through my whole process, submitted my application, and then I just went about my day. I had a few students that day, so I went to the studio and I just started teaching. I was in one of my lessons and I was with a student named Stephanie. Shout out Stephanie, super dope drummer, super dope person. And I was actually in this lesson when I got my next email from the Thai embassy. And this was literally like 2 hours later. And when I got this email, I saw it just kind of pop up on my phone. But immediately, I just thought like something was wrong. I was like, damn, I fucked up. Like, I didn't give them all the information, or they rejected it, or they're gonna need some kind of follow-up, or just something else. So I kind of just ignored it because I didn't want it to ruin my day, and I was literally in the middle of teaching a drum lesson. So I just kind of put it back in my pocket, just kind of continued what I was doing. The lesson kind of went on, and then it was like still in my brain. It was kind of like eating at me. I was like, you know what? I need to just check this. I had this feeling I just need to check this email for whatever reason and really open it up. So I found like a 30-second window when I was like walking from my drum kit to the board when I was about to break down this little thing for my student, and I open up my phone, I click on the email, and bam, this is what it says right here. So bam, this was the very next email, boom, approved. And literally like out loud in the middle of the lesson, I'm like, oh shit. And I remember this, like Stephanie, the girl, the student, she's like, are you okay? She's like kind of concerned. And I was like, man, I'm great. I'm like fucking great right now. This just like made my day, right? Like I just got approved for my visa. Literally like I applied for this thing like a little over 2 hours ago, and bam, I'm already like in this thing, which is crazy because when I was doing all this research for this visa, it was talking about it's gonna take maybe 2 weeks to get approved. It's gonna take maybe on a fast track like 1 week, and then even the fastest I had seen prior to this was like 2 to 3 days. I got approved in 2 hours. So, you know what I'm saying? That just goes to show too, when you really are on the right path, the universe, man, the universe is going to take care of you. The universe is going to work in your favor as long as you're a good person, as long as you have good intent and you doing the right thing. All right, so bam, there you go. Approved. Again, this is not 3:55 a.m. This is Thailand time. So 12:55. Okay, so what actually was it? So 10:16 a.m. So if we do the math, 10:16 a.m. I applied, and bam, 12:55 I got approved. So a little over 2 hours, guys. That's all it took. And this is how you do it. This is exactly how I do it. So let's dive straight in. This is what you're gonna do if you're planning on moving to Thailand and you're trying to get on this DTV. Okay, so the first thing you wanna do, you wanna go to this website right here, the thaivisa.go.th. That's where you apply. You can apply for this visa. Like you can actually go to an actual embassy, your local embassy, wherever is the nearest one to your region, your location. But let's be honest, nobody's got time for that. Nobody's doing that. Nobody's gonna try to do this in person. Just do it the easy way, get with the times, you know what I'm saying? And just do it the digital route. So go to this website, man. Especially if you're a digital nomad, you do everything online anyway. So go to this website, that's how you do it. And it's very simple. You're gonna have to create an account and do all that stuff to apply, but all you need is an email and a password and you're good to go. But you're gonna go to this website, you're gonna scroll all the way down to here, and right here where it says Destination Thailand Visa in red, bam, click on that bad boy. And that's gonna bring you to this, and you're gonna see the 3 different categories. And again, for my specific visa and what I'm gonna talk about, I applied for this one, the workcation, digital nomad / remote worker / foreign talent, freelancer, that kind of route, like the business owner kind of stuff. Again, you can apply through soft power, Muay Thai, culinary, other stuff. And then also there's another option on here. If you're the spouse or a child of somebody that's already on this visa on the DTV, you can get in through that route as well. But we're gonna go through this one. So bam, the first one, the workation, digital nomad, kind of business owner kind of route. So bam, if you click on this, you're gonna see it right here, guys. You're gonna literally see the checklist on what you need for this visa. And we're gonna go over it right here. Okay, so the very first thing, the bio data page for your passport. Just your passport, a valid passport. It has to be valid for at least like 6 months. So this is another cheat code right here. What I would recommend, what I did on my current passport before I applied for this visa, and knowing that I was applying for this visa and knowing that I was moving to Thailand, I had like 2 years left, which is still a fair amount of time, right? But I knew that this visa was good for 5 years. So I knew my passport validity would run out before my DTV visa, and that would eventually cause some kind of problem, and I would have to like renew it, and I didn't have to worry about that issue. So again, this is all about playing the long game. This is all about being prepared and properly prepared. Remember, proper preparation prevents poor performance. It's just about like doing the work, the groundwork ahead of time, so you don't gotta worry about shit when you get here, you know what I'm saying? So what I did, I renewed my passport like before I even applied for this visa. Before I even came out here, I wanted to make sure I was good to go. So I renewed my passport, and now my passport is good for the next 10 years. So I was good to go when I came here. So bam, number one, you need a passport. Make sure that thing is good for a long time. Bam. Number two, photograph taken within the last 6 months. This is easy. This is like probably one of the easiest things. Everybody takes photos of themselves. Everybody takes selfies. The one thing with this, it does have to be a certain type of photo. So it has to be like a passport photo. And the good thing with me in my situation, because I renewed my passport, and if you go that route, if you renew your passport, this part's already taken care of too. So bam, number one and number two is already good to go, because you have to get a new photo in exactly the kind of requirements they want for this kind of photo in the DTV visa. That's the kind of photo they want to see, like a passport style photo, like blank white background, no expression, just kind of prison mugshot, just, you know what I'm saying? So easy day, photograph. Number three, document indicating current location. Okay, this can be a lot of different ways. What I ended up doing was I just showed an electric bill with my address on it. I just called my electric company. I had an apartment back in Ventura, and obviously I pay rent, I pay utilities. I just called up my electric company, had them email me my most current bill, which showed I lived there, my current address, and I was in California, and more importantly, I was outside of Thailand when I was applying for this. So bam. Number four, financial evidence. An amount of no less than 500,000 Thai baht. This is where it gets people, okay? This is one of the big ones. 500,000 Thai baht. So that's around like 15,000 US dollars. You have to have at least $15,000. You know what, I'm just gonna say maybe kind of around, and I'll show you what I did, and I'll show you on my statements exactly the amount I had and what I kind of gave them in the cheat codes and what my recommendations would be. But $15,000 in your account, make sure you have that. And I'm just gonna kind of say that here. I'm not totally for sure on this, so don't take this as gospel, but don't try to go out and have your best friend, have your mama, have your grandma loan you $15,000, apply for this visa, and then you have to pay it back and it's not really yours. That may work. I'm not saying that that wouldn't work. And honestly, that could be another cheat code. That could be completely plausible. However, again, if I'm thinking about what I'm doing out here, and back to what I said in the beginning with having pure intent and doing things the right way, that's not the way to do it, because I have a feeling that if you applied for this and you had that amount in your account, and then you get here, you're on the DTV visa, who's to say in the future they're not going to crack down and maybe want to see around that same amount? Or maybe they ask a question, or that becomes some kind of requirement if you have to renew this ever in the future or whatever, or just something happens to where you still have to have access to that amount of money. If that money was never yours to begin with, I just have a feeling you might fall into some ramifications that you may not have like foreseen. So I would recommend, if you got the money, or if you can save up the money to really have it be yours, That's the best possible scenario. But if you have to borrow it or whatever, hey man, to each their own. You gotta do your thing. So bam, 500,000 Thai baht, you gotta have it. That's one of the things. Look, you're getting a visa, it's multiple entry, you're good for 5 years. It's worth it, man. And I think one of the big reasons on why they want to see that is because with this visa, they don't want a certain type, how do I put this? They don't want a certain type of tourist or a certain type of expat coming out here. They don't want just anybody coming out here and is just gonna fucking party and just go crazy and just be kind of one of those people that end up on the Thai news for getting in a bar fight with a lady boy right there on Walking Street in Pattaya. They don't want to see that. They don't want that kind of individual. So I think these little things are put into place. Really just try to ensure that the people coming out here to use this, they really are established in some way, and they really aren't trying to just fuck around when they come out here. They're trying to really work and really trying to enjoy what Thailand is and what Thailand has to offer. Okay, so that's number 4. The last one on here, number 5. And this is a big one. This is gonna be the main thing in this video and the main cheat code on what I show you guys and what I think the reason why I got approved in 2 hours. So number 5, employment contract or employment certificate in their country, or, this is the big one, professional portfolio showcasing digital nomad, remote worker, foreign talent, freelancer status. So basically, your professional portfolio, if that's what you're applying for this, you're going like the business owner kind of route. Professional portfolio, your overall kind of business, the scope of your business, what you do, how you make money, and how you're gonna subsist and sustain yourself out here in a foreign country. That's what they wanna see. Little side note real quick on this too, and something I thought you had to have before I applied, but actually turns out you don't have to have it. You don't have to have a LLC. You don't have to have anything like that. As long as you have a business, as long as you make money in whatever kind of fashion that you do it in, and you can prove that you have that income, most likely you're gonna get approved. I have a fairly successful drum business, teaching my drum lessons, and I don't have a LLC. And again, I got approved in 2 hours. So there you go. But this professional portfolio and what you put into this professional portfolio, I think that's the biggest thing. Okay? So that's the website. And obviously you would go through here, you would make an account, and then you just simply go through the application process. I'm not gonna go over that, the exact step-by-step how to do the application. There actually are other videos for that, and actually I'm gonna recommend this one right here. So shout out to Eddie and Sarah Explore. This is the exact video I watched when I was applying, and she breaks it down beautifully. She broke it down exactly step by step, goes through the application and shows you what you need to do. So I would literally just follow along with this video and then take any advice and tips from my video, and bam, you should be good to go. But okay, so now I want to jump into this one, and I want to show you guys the documentation and everything that I submitted when I applied for this visa and how I got approved so fast. So the number 1 tip, the number 1 cheat code. So get in here, go ahead, get locked in. This is it. When you're applying for the DTV visa, even with all these requirements that they want, give them more. Give them more. If they want 3 months of bank statements, give them 4 months. Give them 6 months. If they want to see a professional business portfolio, don't just give them your website and your Instagram handle. Give them everything. Give them statistics, give them analytics, give them taxes, give them revenue reports. Literally all that stuff is what I did and what you're gonna see in this. So the number 1 cheat code, my number 1 tip to getting approved for the DTV visa as a business owner, as a remote worker, as a digital nomad, give them more. Fill that application up with credible information. Don't just fluff it up with bullshit. Nobody's saying to do that. In the military, we call that gun decking. Don't gun deck the shit. Make sure it's actually relevant and accurate to your actual situation. But anything that you can give them to prove that you're gonna be on your shit, you're gonna get to Thailand, you can stand on your own, and you can be self-sufficient, man, throw that in there. That's what's gonna help. That's what they wanna see. They wanna see that you're not gonna struggle, you're not gonna be a negative impact to them or their economy when you get here. So it's as simple as that. Just give them more shit. Give them a bunch of stuff, okay? So literally, bam. So going into this is my folder. right here, the DTV folder. This is everything that I submitted, right? And I broke this down, I organized it a little bit, but the main things I'm gonna show you are these two ones. So I'm gonna go through this one, my professional portfolio, and then I'm gonna go over a little bit of the finances and what I kind of just did with that, and that'll be like a shorter section. But this is the main one, this is the main section. So bam, right here. Real quick, this is gonna be a quick little sidebar that I actually forgot to mention, so I'm gonna mention it right here. So there is another part on the DTV Visa for the DTV application that you need to provide, that you need to prove, and that is going to be like flight information and kind of accommodation information to basically show around the time that you plan on coming to Thailand, and more importantly, where you're gonna stay, your accommodation while you're here. So this is just a real quick tip and the cheat code for this little section. You do not have to have an actual ticket booked for this section. You do not have to have an actual flight booked and an actual hotel booked, like paid for and everything, before you apply for this DT Visa. That's not what I did. That's not what you have to do. The only thing you have to do, you can literally just go to any website. I use booking.com. Just go to booking.com, search up a flight for around the time you want to be here. So make sure that it is fairly accurate within your own time frame. Get that flight, get all the information, and go through every single step all the way up until you actually book it. Don't actually book it and pay for it, and then just take the screenshot of that flight number, the time, and all that stuff, and then you're gonna include that in your application. It's the same exact thing for the hotel accommodation. You can just go look at any hotel that you plan on kind of staying in, put the dates in there, go through all the information, go all the way up into like the checkout, and then just take a screenshot of it and then just attach that. Honestly, for me, for my situation, for both the flight and the hotel accommodation, the screenshots that I had in my DTV application, I didn't even use that exact airline. I didn't even use that hotel. On my application, it was like China Airlines because it was like really cheap. And I picked some other like random hotel. And I ended up actually paying for after I got approved for my DTV Visa. I went on Qatar Airlines, which I highly recommend. And then I stayed at the Carlton, which again, I highly recommend. So just a quick tip on your flight and your hotel accommodation section, it does not have to be the actual flight and hotel that you plan on booking. All right, so back to the video. This is my professional business portfolio. What I submitted, you can see it right here for the DTV, okay? So the very first thing you want and the very first thing you're gonna need is some kind of employment letter, pretty much stating and saying that you work for yourself and you operate a business and what your intention is going to be in Thailand, okay? So this was mine, and honestly, man, I had ChatGPT draft mine up. I'm not even gonna lie, I'm not even gonna front. Hey, we live in 2025 right now. It's the age of AI, and if you know how to use AI, I'm not even knocking it. So I literally had ChatGPT draft this up, told them all about my business. They drafted it up, made it sound really nice, and then I went through and edited it and then put my own little spin on it, and I made it, you know, my own and made it even better. But they definitely got me started and put me in the right place to get on this thing. So here we go. So bam, threw in my little logo, you know, you gotta be fancy. Simon Riley, DBA, doing business as Simon Riley Drums. That is my business. That was my old address, my phone number. Don't be spam calling me, I will block your ass. There's my email, and then just some links to my portfolio. So I had my website, I had my YouTube channel, bam, which you're watching right now, and then my Instagram. So obviously in today's world, social media, that's used as your portfolio, right? That is a very viable source of using as your portfolio. So you want to include those links as well, but that shouldn't be the only thing that you use in your application. You need to have a lot more than that. That should just be like the extra sauce on the side, not the whole damn meal. You know what I'm saying? So bam, you got that section. And then I had the date on here. Back July 14th, okay? To whom it may concern, I, Simon Riley, am a self-employed drum educator and the sole proprietor of my own online drum instruction business, Simon Riley Drums, and I'm writing this letter in support of my DTV application. I operate independently under my personal name and provide professional drumming education services to students located outside of Thailand. That part is really important, and I had to make sure I put that in there because technically, and I knew this, on the DT Visa, you are not allowed to like work. Work is actually technically prohibited inside of Thailand. I wouldn't be able to teach in-person drum lessons to Thai natives when I got to Thailand. So I made sure that that was very clear in this very first page, this cover letter, the self-employment letter, to really state that yes, I have a professional business, I teach drum lessons, and I'm going to be continuing that, but I will be providing these services to students located outside of Thailand. Going further, primarily in the United States and California, where I currently reside. Again, the reason why I put where I currently reside is because that's part of the application too. Remember, they want to see your location, the utility bill. They want to see that you're currently outside of Thailand. So it's like, if you can put all these little markers throughout your entire application that marry each other, that link together, it's going to be even better for you. It's just like using a little logic, all right? So, United States of California, where I currently reside. Bam. I work remotely. What do they want to see? Digital workers, digital nomads. I work remotely, offering one-on-one lessons, pre-recorded courses, and consultation services via online platforms and my official website, which I obviously linked. My business has been in continuous operation since 2020, and I maintain a consistent client base through platforms such as Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, SEO, and word of mouth. So it's just showing, yes, I have a business. It is still active, it is still successful, and it's still ongoing, and I plan to keep that business while I am here in Thailand. Okay, this next part, I confirm that all of my clients and business activities are based outside of Thailand, and I have no professional engagements with Thai individuals or entities. Okay, that's very important, because if I go back to here, and I'll just show you guys real quick, okay? On my actual visa, remarks, employment prohibited, okay? So I know that I'm doing remote work out here. I'm doing my digital nomad work out here. That's very important, and I knew that because I was prepared and I did the research, and now you're gonna have the research and you're gonna be prepared. I already knew that coming into this thing. So it's very important that you just you're on your P's and Q's before you're even ready to submit. Have all your ducks in a row, so that way you can cross all them T's and dot all them I's, and you won't have no issues. Okay? So bam, going back to it, I have no professional engagements with Thai individuals or entities. I intend to continue my work remotely while residing temporarily in Thailand under the Destination Thailand Visa program and enjoying the beautiful culture of such a great country. I mean, that's what I want to do, and that's what I'm doing. Like, I love Thailand. I love the culture here, and I'm going to put that in my application. That's my intention, and that's exactly what I'm doing, okay? The very last part, please find attached supporting documentation, including revenue reports, financial statements, website analytics, and portfolio materials to verify the legitimacy and sustainability of my business. Again, they don't ask you this. When we went back in the very beginning, it just said professional portfolio, business portfolio. It doesn't tell you what to put in there. So this is the cheat code. This is telling you what you need to attach and what you need to show them to really get approved and hopefully get it expedited, okay? To finish this off, thank you in advance, and I look forward to this approval. Respectfully, Simon O'Reilly. If you're military, that should sound very familiar. That should sound like copy and paste from any military email that you ever sent. Okay, so bam, on to the next thing. And this is the other stuff that I sent them, okay? My tax information, I literally sent them my 1099. Show them how much I made for the entire year, okay? I showed them revenue reports, my gross income, my net income, everything I made for my online drum lesson up until this point to show that I'm a legitimate, credible business, right? On to the next thing, analytics. Go to your website. If you're selling any of your products, whether it's through Squarespace or even through like social media or like Instagram or whatever, and you have proof of sale, you have like receipts or some way, some analytical data that shows, yes, people bought certain items and this amount of people are visiting your business, your landing page for your business, whether that be social media, your website, whatever, show them that. Show them analytics that shows your credibility. Right? So what I showed them is this, my Squarespace, how many visits I had, again, my revenue, how many checkouts, like all this other stuff, right? And this is very accessible, and this is why I like Squarespace. This is very accessible and easy to get to right from the Squarespace portal, okay? So analytics, bam. Next page, some more analytics just to show even more. Literally anything that had a bar graph or anything that had a number on it that showed my income or showed how many people visit my site, I threw it on there, okay? And actually, that's it. That's literally it, at least for the business portfolio side of things, okay? And notice this is a really good tip too. Notice how I clumped all these files into one PDF, okay? That's very important because when you go to the actual application, it's not gonna give you the option to have 10 different pages be able to be attached under this one section for your professional business portfolio type thing. I don't remember the exact verbiage, but I do remember I had to clump all these things together into one file. And honestly, it just makes it easy for your organization, for their viewing. It just makes it easy so they can see all in one clear document, all your shit that you're on your stuff, and you have a credible business and you're gonna be good to go when you get here to Thailand, okay? That's the main thing. That is the biggest tip. This is the cheat code. This is the main playbook that I truly believe why I got approved so fast. Because I think most people do not show this amount of information when they're trying to prove their status as some kind of digital worker, freelancer, whatever. So anything that you have, anything that's credible, give it to them. Throw it in the PDF, all right? On to the last thing. All right, last thing right here. Bam. This was the financial part of it. So again, they wanted the bank statements. And if we go back, let's see, let's check it again. Let's see how many months of bank statements they want. So bam, right here on number 4, financial evidence for the 500,000 Thai baht, okay? Your bank statements proving for the last 3 months, okay? The last 3 months. So again, so to stress this point, 500,000 Thai baht. So that's around 15,000 USD. 15,000 USD you have to have in your bank account. And not only do you have to have it in your bank account, right here, bam, you have to show proof that you have it in there through a bank statement or through some kind of other letter or proof for the last 3 months you've had that in there. So it can't just be a quick little transfer from mama, transfer from grandma. It can't be that. You gotta have this in there. It's gotta be credible. They want established, credible people on this visa. Again, just know who they're looking for and just fit that mold to what they're trying to do. And hopefully you should fit that mold if you're even watching this video and you're applying for this visa, okay? So bank statement for the last 3 months. When we go to mine, I didn't give them the last 3 months. Again, give them more, okay? Give it to them. They say less is more is more, okay? Give them more, okay? I gave them bank statements all the way. So I applied in July. I gave them bank statements and showed them that I had this amount, if not more, in my account, all the way back until I think October was the first one that I sent, okay? Just to really show that, yes, I had this amount in there, and you can see it clearly right here. So bam, so 15,000. This was actually right around the time in July I had 15,000. Obviously, in preparation to moving to Thailand, there was a lot of expenses that I had to do and a lot of work and a lot of groundwork I had to do. So actually, my account was actually on the low end, right? And I was actually just barely touching that threshold. If you can see it right here, $15,063. At the time, at the most current date I showed them on this very first page, right? And again, I still got approved. But I made sure to show them more data. So if we go here, so if we go to the other pages in this, God damn it, I wasn't even on the first one. Okay, that was the 8th page. Okay, if I go back up to the top, again, the same thing. Same thing, and actually it's a little less. It's a little less. So this is what I had. This is exactly what I had in this account. And this is actually a CD, so this was a certificate of deposit I had. This wasn't even in like my checking account or a savings account. I guess technically you can kind of look at it like a savings account, but this was in my CD that I had through Navy Fed. Shout out Navy Fed, okay? $15,000. That's what I had as of July 14th, a couple days before I applied. And I made sure to get that exact date because I wanted to try to show them the most current and up-to-date amount that I had in this account, or at least the closest I could to the date I was applying, okay? So July 14th, that's when I did it. On to the next one. I showed them more, okay? Other statements. This one, back to March, okay? I think I said October, another one. That was wrong. Back to March, I showed them, okay? $16,000 I had it. Back to these months, back in January, back in February, and again through March, $21,000, $22,000, okay? So I'm just showing them that yes, I had credible and I had sufficient funds in this account. I'm not just gonna be a dumbass whenever I go to Thailand, okay? So bam, showed them that, show them even more stuff. The other statements, so this is up through June, so the next quarter, then obviously through the most current account to the 15,000. Okay, so just showing them and giving them more. That's the biggest thing, guys. Literally showing them everything. So to wrap this whole thing up, if you're a business owner or a digital nomad, freelancer, whatever, and you're trying to get on this DTV visa and you want to get approved, no questions asked, hopefully expedited, hopefully in 1 hour. Shit, see if you can beat the record right now, okay? See if you can do it in 1 hour. Give them as much stuff as you possibly can. If you have taxes, if you have revenue reports, if you have analytics, if you have social media stuff, give them everything. Clump it all into one document and attach it under the corresponding sections when you go to the e-visa website and you actually apply, and then you spend that $400 for your application. It's just about preparing. It's just about knowing the game. It's like knowing the test before you take the test. If you know pretty much damn near exactly what's on the test, exactly what they're gonna ask you, what they're looking for, and then you strive above that and you give them more, shoot, you're gonna be good to go, man. It's just about how you do things. It's about honestly just giving a fuck. If you really want it, really doing it, really going after it. How you do anything is how you do everything, okay? I preach that, I live by that. How you do anything is how you do everything. And if you show them, and if they have the vibe, they have the kind of feel when they're going through your application, oh damn, this person is really on their shit. Damn, this person gave me more than what I asked them for. You're gonna get approved. You know what I'm saying? So all that stuff. Hopefully that helped. I know this was a long video. If you guys stuck around for this entire video, I know you're gonna be squared away. I know you're gonna be set up to finally get on this DTV visa. And now hopefully you'll have the tips and tricks and the cheat codes that will show you how to get it not only properly and hopefully without any issues, but hopefully get it expedited. And man, then you can get out here, you can be out here worry-free on a multiple entry visa, good for 5 years, no headaches, no worries, and then you can enjoy the beautiful country of Thailand and not have to stress about anything. So if you're new here and this video helped you in any way possible, give me a like, hit that like button, comment, subscribe, you already know what to do. Stick around, tap in, lock in, and I will see you in the next